So, I may have made the rant a little longer than I intended to. I actually did not want to go into detail on that, but I did anyway. You know, I'm an open book. I try to be an open book. I try to show people the bad with the good with the bad. Wonder if this is gonna work. So, it's currently Wednesday night, or Wednesday evening. I think it's a little after 7 because the store's still open. I'm out here cleaning cages after putting bugs away all day. I do want to let some people know, I know it's the locals that tend to get the brute end of the stick in cases like this, but we may have to change our local store hours soon. I might make it so that instead of staying open until 7:30, we might only stay open until 7. And instead of opening at 7 or at 10:30 in the mornings, we might have to open just a tad later, just in order to get more of the work done. Now, big thing with me, you know, is taking care of the animals. Since day one, I've done a good portion of the work myself. I'd say in the first 3 years, I probably did 99% of the work myself, and over the last, you know, the next year or so, it was a little less because, you know, there's a lot to do, and we just kept expanding, and, you know, I can only do so much, so we have to hire people, and my wife quit her job to stay here. But this summer has been a little tough. We had a guy who it took him 6 days to do what I could do in 3 days, and he still wouldn't finish his job. He actually left. We knew he was leaving, but he ended up doing a no-call, no-show about a week before he was supposed to leave. We had another guy who worked for 2 weeks, and then of course he quit because he was wild. I mean, he worked really quick, but he just did not listen. I mean, he had to do things his way and did what he thought, and he would not take any direction. See if I could prop this up somehow. Well, I may not be able to do what I intended to do here. But anyway, yeah, this guy was really fast, but he, like I said, he worked really fast, but he just never listened. And like I told him for his first 2 weeks, I did not want him to wean any rats. I just wanted him to learn how to clean cages and, you know, get a good feel for cleaning cages and how it's done. And then I'll teach him how to wean rats and how to, you know, start new colonies with the rats that we have that are young adults and ready to breed. Well, one time I come in, I seen a new colony. It was dated for like that day or something, and I look in there. I'm telling you, there's rats that were pups. They were 34 grams, and he had them in the drawer like they were going to be future breeders. So I'm like, you know, they can't breed. They need to get to 200 grams before breeding them. You can't do this, you know. But he wanted to do his own thing. He was really independent, and yeah, so he ended up going somewhere else. I think back to roofing or something that he does. Well, we had a girl last week come in, and she only worked for 2.5 hours before she quit because the bugs gave her the heebie-jeebies, you know, so she didn't work out. And then we had a guy who's been here for, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks now. And I'll show you a little clip from this guy. He's slow. He was all right though. You know, I wanted to keep, you know, giving him another chance, and hopefully he'd do better. And I just kept teaching him and showing him. He did text and talk on his phone a lot, but I just, you know, kept talking to him about it. Well, yesterday we had plans to go to Pioneer Waterland, And it was just me, my wife, and my son, and my mom, my sister, and her family. And we've had this planned for like a month and a half. So we went there. Well, about 4 o'clock, I decided to take a peek in the garage and just see what he was up to. Because we got cameras in every building, you know. And yeah, so I look on the cameras, and he's just leaning up against the rat rack, texting somebody. And I'm just sitting there watching him text. And after about, I don't know, 10 or 12 minutes, I decided to shoot him a text and ask him how things are going. And he responded that, yeah, you know, things are good. He cleaned some cages, and he did what I asked him to do in the bug building. But then, I'm tired. But then he's back to cleaning cages. I said, okay, that's cool. And I checked the camera again, and he actually was cleaning cages. So I figured he was just taking a break or something, you know. So everyone was getting out of the pool. They were in the lazy river, actually. I was just sitting there talking to my mom, chatting it up for a little bit. I checked the cameras again. Sure enough, dude's in the same spot, just sitting there texting on his phone. So anyway, I told my wife about this on the way home, and she decides to go look at the cameras even a little more. And literally for the entire first probably hour and 15 minutes that he was here, all he did was pace the garage, talking to his buddy on his phone. He got his earpiece in, pacing and talking, pacing and talking, pacing and talking. Didn't do nothing. What makes it even worse, he's on the phone with his buddy, and he says, yeah, my boss and his family aren't even here. They went to a water park, so apparently he trusts me, but he left me here alone. So, yeah, I'm just not going to work as hard. It's pretty funny. And he said that, too. It's pretty funny. And, you know, some other stuff he said that, I mean, it really doesn't faze me as long as he actually did some work. But the fact is, I mean, the guy just took advantage of me. And during the 6 hours that he was here yesterday, he may have done max an hour and a half's worth of work. And which makes this even worse is he was here Monday and Tuesday. He was supposed to work Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, which is today. But needless to say, I had to let go of him after yesterday's thing. But on Monday, he was here for 6 hours, cleaning all day. And now, mind you, part of the problem is my fault. I admit that. I do not have the time to be with somebody in here the whole time you're here. That's why I really love independent people, because I myself am really independent. So I'm doing cupping up bugs, I'm shipping out bugs, you know, helping bring rodents to the store. Like I said, the guy's been here 4 to 5 weeks, so he knows how to clean cages now. He knows how to wean rats, feed, water, take care of the rodents. So he worked 6 hours Monday. And at the end of the day, I was in here shutting down, and I start looking through all the drawers, and not a single colony of rats had been cleaned on Monday. And I'm like, well, what did you do for 6 hours? Like, I couldn't find anything other than the feeding and watering. So when he comes in yesterday morning, on Tuesday, I talked to him and said, you know, hey, what did you do Monday? And he said, I cleaned every one of the mouse cages, da-da-da-da-da. And I did a little bit of math, and I'm like, every single mouse colony we have, you could have cleaned in 3.5 hours, and you were here for 6. I'm like, whatever, you know, that's why I wanted you here these 3 days, because, you know, he couldn't work Thursday and Friday, so I was hoping he'd really get into it. Well, no. He didn't even touch a single mouse colony in the second building. So he only did, let me show you, I could actually, let me get my flip-flop on. That white rack, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, there's one missing. So 24 mouse colonies, and then those right there. So 39 mouse colonies, it took him 6 hours to clean. So when I talked to him yesterday morning, I gave him a little list. I was hoping that he'd have all the cleaning done Monday, and then on Tuesday, he could make some roach chow, help spread the rest of the gravel we got delivered over a week ago. We've just been chipping away every day at it, or do some of the other stuff. But no, all he did was about half of the mouse colonies, and that's it in 6 hours. And then Tuesday, of course, because I wasn't here, he just walked around and talked to his buddy all day. Didn't do anything. We are hiring. We have a couple new people starting on Friday, which is going to be tough because I'm going to be training 2 people at the same time. I'm going to have one with the rodents and one in the bug building. But it shouldn't be like this, you know. It's tough to find good workers, and I'm not even that strict. I mean, it's so easy to clean rodents. You literally just take the old bedding out, put the new bedding in, and move on to the next drawer. Bugs is a little more tedious, but still, I'm not strict. I mean, I always thought I was so laid back, and apparently this is like, you know, a chemistry class. Apparently it's this hard because it doesn't seem like anybody can do these jobs. And I think the big part is they come to the store and they see the snakes and the lizards and, you know, getting to talk to people and take money. And I think a lot of people see that as, wow, I'd love to work somewhere where I can handle snakes and talk to people all day. But 98% of the job is behind this. I don't want to say 98%. It's, hell, I don't know. 80% of the job is behind the scenes. You know, these rats have got to be cleaned and fed and watered, and sometimes it's every day. I mean, mostly when you clean a rat cage, you don't have to clean it again for, you know, maybe 6 days. But so like this one ain't too bad. But occasionally there's a flood where they'll break their little water valve and it gets, you know, really wet in there, or it'll flood all the way up to the rim. And if you don't catch it in time, they'll die. Here's one that probably could have got cleaned on Monday. I mean, it's a couple days late. But after dealing with bugs all day, cupping up all the bugs for the store and everything, and getting all the rodents for the store, I'm also freezing rodents. I have a big order coming. It's a pet store order. Let me show you real quick. That's 40 small rats there, if you're able to see that. But I gotta freeze them. It's probably around 7:30 now. And I'm in here, I gotta clean cages because I won't leave them dirty. I won't leave my animals filthy and nasty like that. I don't care if they're feeders or not, they deserve to get taken care of. They deserve to not live in filth. And with the bugs, I mean, the roach colonies now, because we have so many in there, they need fed dry food, I'd say about every 3 or 4 weeks. And now we have over 30 colonies. I think we're getting close to 35 colonies. I spend I'd say about an hour to an hour and a half a day just cutting up and passing out carrots and potatoes. And that's in addition to what my wife does 6 days a week. She cuts up apples and other fruit for the colonies. But I have to sort them and cup them and ship them and all that stuff. But it's been a tough summer because our customer base has picked up. I mean, we're averaging anywhere from 35 to 50 customers a day now. Excuse me. And you got to think, these people are getting, you know, some of them might only get 1 mouse, and some of these people are getting 30, 40, 50, 100 live or frozen rodents at any given time. So, you know, we can't keep all that in the store. So sometimes we've got to walk back and forth from building to building to go get the stuff. But it's a lot to keep up with, you know, and I knew we would come to this at some point. I was actually excited for it because I've always wanted to grow and expand this business. The problem is I didn't think it'd be so hard to find employees, you know, and I guess that's my ignorance of you know, I just assumed that if you paid somebody and you took care of them, that they'd come to work and enjoy doing work. But it turns out a lot of people don't even like their job that, I mean, they've had for 20 years. They still don't like their job, you know, and I guess I don't understand that, because no matter where I've worked, I've always enjoyed it. and I've always tried to do better no matter what. I mean, I remember working with a temp agency, and they sent me to a job, and I had to be there at like 9:30, and the guy tells me when I got there, which, you know, I'm usually 20 minutes early or whatever, but, you know, he tells me the people that are going to train me won't even be there until 11 o'clock. He's like, just hang out, just, you know, do what you want, just sit down, hang out, do whatever until they get here. And I'm like, that's not me, you know. I picked up a broom, I started sweeping, I saw the toolboxes with all like nuts and bolts and just obviously just laying around, not in any particular piles, just clean up, put it away. You know, that particular job I ended up not even liking. I only stayed there for a few weeks, but I've always enjoyed what I did. You know, maybe that's just the entrepreneur in me. But turns out a lot of people don't like what they do. I mean, it don't matter if you pay them good, don't matter if you're, you know, buying them food when you're getting food and you know, giving them cash bonuses or whatever. It don't matter if your back's turned. They're gonna just, you know, pick up their phone, have a seat, and do what they want until you hit the corner again, and then they get up and pretend to be working. And I think that's pretty sad, but I'm not gonna let the rats go without being cleaned because of it. I'm not gonna let the rats go without being fed and watered. I'm not gonna sacrifice their care for that. At worst case scenario, we're gonna have to cut the hours down in the store just a little bit. That way the store gets shut down a little earlier. My wife can then help with some of the bug stuff, and I can come up here and do some cage cleaning and feeding and things like that, where I don't have to keep running back and forth to the store or to the bug building to get bugs cupped up for a customer. I am trying to build better systems. I am trying to think of ways that I can be more efficient and more effective with everything I'm doing. But realistically, just the store and just the farm alone, you know, we realistically should have 4 to 5 full-time employees here, and it's just me and my wife. You know, I'd love to find somebody that can work with rats and insects like I do, that could go, you know, bounce from one thing to another. Or if not, I'd love to find someone who's just really great with rodents and they could clean cages super quick. You know, we had a couple people over the last 2 years that were really good. And, you know, things just happen the way they happen, and they're not here no more. And, you know, life goes on, and we just got to bounce back. But I'd say after the next reptile show, within the next 2 to 3 weeks, if we can't change something and get a decent crew here working, we are going to have to cut the store hours down a little bit, which ain't going to be too bad. I mean, we close at 7:30 now. We might have to close at 7. You know, we might have to, you know, bump up to 10:30 in the morning, or 10 o'clock in the morning, or whatever it is. I don't even remember. I'm so tired. But anyway, yeah, sorry for the rant. I just wanted to explain that, and just to say it, we will change our hours on Google, on the Facebook page. We'll get a new banner for the gate. Low battery mode. But anyway, yeah, I'm cutting out of here. I appreciate every one of you. I love you. I'll see you soon. Good morning, everybody. Before I post this video, I just wanted to say that, you know what, even though I'm ranting and overwhelmed and busy and all that good stuff, I wouldn't trade it for the world. You know what, I love what I do. I love every one of you that come out here. You know, I enjoy the work. I enjoy the working with the rodents and the bugs and the people and the reptiles. It's super fun. I'm not gonna lie, it gets stressful though, you know. This whole entire video was just supposed to be about potentially changing our store hours in the near future. I ended up getting into a little more detail than I anticipated, but it is what it is. Like I said, I'm an open book. I like to show you all the good with the bad and everything in between. But yeah, I hope you all have a beautiful day, and I will see you soon. Have a good one.